So, okay, do you guys know that in an effort to help someone else, you aren't helping anyone if you're left with nothing? Over and over, this is why I want to know if Twitch is still a thing where you just live stream all day so I could just have this going all day long. Like, I feel like that would definitely be ideal to whatever's happening right now. So I'm going to have to look. I thought that was like a retired social media, but who knows? There's a reason why they say in airplanes, if there's ever an emergency or a problem with oxygen levels, that you have to strap your own oxygen mask on before you can strap on the masks of the individuals in your area. So if someone is being held in a space where they don't have any access to regular money, and we're under the understanding that we're in a demographic where you need money to survive. If we're not, then we're not. But, to my understanding, for the most part, unless you have someone paying for you or who already owns it, giving it to you, there are certain things from day to day, even if you have a house that's paid off, there are certain things from day to day, unless you live in like a farm and even then, protection, support, love, all of these things, they're all investments of time, energy, or money, or all of the above, usually. And in that understanding, if you go to Ulta Beauty and you spray yourself with a couple of different perfume fragrances, look at some makeup palettes, do some reviews, and then move on with your day. Is Ulta in a deficit? Not really, right? So Ulta will grab another bottle of perfume and put it on the shelf, or another palette, or another 400 or 500 people will have access to sample that same eyeshadow palette, or that same a couple of drops of foundation or what have you. When you come into my life and I'm not being permitted to earn my income doing my driving, so I'm doing numerous other things while I market for personal driving jobs and connect and establish relationships with individuals who can refer me to personal driving jobs. In the absence of that constant kind of recharge of my bank account, today I was supposed to receive a payment from Facebook. I was supposed to receive that payment on August 20th. August 20th came and it left. I was supposed to first receive it in the early weeks of August. The early weeks of August came and then they went and I didn't receive it. It said you have to update your bank account. I update my information to a different account that I'm not using for anything else so that they can't do fraud on the account. And they say your deposit will be there on August 23rd. Then they say, oh no, never mind, August 23rd, it'll be there on August 20th. Then August 20th comes, there's nothing. And then they say, okay, it'll be there on the 23rd. Then the 23rd comes and there's nothing. And then they say, oh, it's been rolled over to the next month. So for 30 days, they've been promising that the deposit would be made in my account. But for 30 days, I've received nothing. So under that understanding, if I'm using a bottle of Baby Magic as my shampoo and whole body body wash, and I don't get to go to the beach to have a fun day with, people who I get along with and interact with, or even my husband for that matter. Instead, I get a 30-second to 60-second couple of photos taken and to put my toe in the water and then rush back to the vehicle, at which point in time I was surrounded by law enforcement, sheriffs. And they said, what are you doing? People are calling. It's the same thing over and over. It's so exhausting. I'm doing nothing. I just came here to this beach. What am I doing wrong? Is this not a public beach? Yes, it is. So to go to sleep in a locked space under the understanding that my foundation that I was able to purchase for myself because I was having regular income is safe in my makeup case, locked in my, that understanding that those are my resources that I've purchased and, or acquired, or someone has given to me as a gift, or, they've been a trade for something or whatever it is. Those are my resources. I'm not Ulta. I'm not Sephora. I'm not fucking Walgreens. I'm Heather. Nice to meet you. Right? So in the understanding that for me to be my best self and do my work and support my family and put food in my stomach and, a safe space over my head each night, I am not an unlimited resource for others. And when we discuss the topic of helping others, how do you think that it's in any way acceptable to take my husband's energy, use him for babysitting other people's belongings and running errands for other people and gathering food and supplies for third-party individuals, while I am subjected to fend for myself and exist in a deficit of not just the things that money can buy, but the relationships, the connections, the understandings, the friendships, the love, all of these things that money cannot buy. And you know what? You can say that money can buy love, but it really can't. It cannot. To truly love someone is to love them, period. Xavier's over here laying on the sidewalk dressed like a Polish woman, and I still love him and check on him and ask him to come. Do I get frustrated after hours and hours of trying to figure out what's going on with him and not getting any sort of real answer or understanding? Absolutely, I do. All the time. All the time. Absolutely. I smeared my makeup crying. Absolutely I do. But it's confusing for me to try to understand, even in the periods where I say, okay, I will conform to your demands. You don't want Xavier and I to have safety and peace and love and comfort in each other. Then I'll sit over here in this quiet space where there doesn't seem to be anyone around, and I'll take out my laptop and I'll start working on my book that I've been attempting to write for 6 years. 6 years. I'm not like some of you people who like to do 3 hours of working on your book and then, fuck off the rest of the day. I have bursts of energy at which point in time I am 100% honed in on a thing. Okay? It's ADHD is the societal norm for what they've called it. For me, that's how I've been my whole life. If I want to write, I might write for 15 hours. I might write for 15 hours and do nothing else. I might do photo shoots for 16, 17 hours or makeup looks and do nothing else. Then focus on that one thing. And then for 2 days, not touch it. That's my working style. That's the style of work that's worked the best for me. We're not talking about a 9-to-5 job where you go and clock in and work and have that structure and then go home. The two are very difficult to intermingle. If you have a 9-to-5 or you're working from the time you open your eyes until the time you fall asleep, you don't really have the luxury of using your energy for much else. In the understanding that I would prefer stability, happiness, safety, love, compassion, support, advocacy, time with my children over doing a whole bunch of photo shoots, I love both of those lives. But if I have to choose one, there's no contest. I'm always going to go with stability and my children every single time. In the understanding that someone knows that, and so they just decided, no, no, that's not acceptable. I don't know how to make people understand that not wanting to live without doesn't mean you don't want to be a good person or help others when you can. When you can. It seems like the demographic that they put me in to suck me fucking dry of all my resources, gas, time, makeup, energy, money, whatever the fuck I come in with, it's like I might as well just leave naked. Are these people going to take the fucking blazer off my shoulders too? Shit. I mean, it's awful here. It is awful. I can't go into the store to use the restroom and brush my teeth without there being a threat that someone's going to come in my car and use my fucking makeup. I'm not Sephora. I'm not Ulta. You know, I mean, where can I drive away from here and seek safety and shelter where I will not be subjected to being rendered unconscious while other individuals utilize my resources that I have worked for and earned? Where can I go for that? Where can I go for that? Anybody know? I don't know. You know, you guys, I don't really know. I don't know what to even say to these people anymore. I replaced 2 of my tires, brand new tires, and because they were saying that there were sensor issues. I mean, they were saying that there were air issues. They were changing the meter on my air sensor to say, "Oh, hurry up, go get air," so that they could steal $2 from me, $2.50 a day, every day, during periods of time when I was not able to afford a meal. Extended periods where they probably made about a couple $100 from doing that. And then I had to replace the tires also. My 2 friends, I've had my car for a year, past all inspections. I've already had to replace 2 tires, not because they've worn out or been damaged, but because these fucking stalkers, these bloodsuckers, these energy drainers, no one can stop these people? You guys can't fucking get a grip on this shit? What the fuck is going on? And then I just replaced the other tire, 3 days ago? 4 days ago? And then I wake up this morning and they make a fucking sensor issue on the back left tire. How? So that I could have to go drive to where they curate me to go drive, to fill up air, to waste gas, so that they could render me immovable in another location, so that they can curate various fucking sets of bullshit. Yes, I'm a woman, thank you, with a uterus, given birth 4 times. What makes, I can't believe this. What makes a woman a woman? Well, that's going to be the physical anatomy. So do you have a menstrual cycle, right? Do you bleed each month from the shedding of the uterine line? You might be a woman. Have you given birth? Are you a mother? You're most likely a woman. I mean, who's asking these questions? I hate it here. They need to shut this line down indefinitely. No one should be existing here. This is gross. Awful. It's like smoggy. Air quality is bad. Threats are high. It's gross. It's awful. They're doing something with Xavier. I don't know what. Xavier would never on his own not want to be where I am. Ever. There is no rational adult male in the United States or surrounding that would volunteer to sleep on the curb in women's clothing without his wife rather than get in the car and drive away from here. So what is going on? Polytech, that's many tech. That's multiple techs. That's not the same as a relationship where you have many husband and wives. I tried to join this application called Meetup, right? Just like Upwork, it's the same shit. It's supposed to be a free application where you can just create and host events or attend events that are already being created and hosted and go to these places and meet up with groups of people who enjoy doing these things. They omit me from all of the fucking events, say that I have to pay $14 a month to have access, and then basically first they show you like $5,000 to travel to Berlin, $7,000 to do this and that. These people have not allowed me to keep $200 fucking dollars in my bank account in nearly a decade without them fucking running fraud on my account. And the United States government has done not a goddamn thing to help me. Nothing. This is not a movie. This is my fucking life. Talk about save, talk about budgeting. I'm over here looking into businesses that I can grow, money that I can make, ways that I could build my house, all this stuff. Well, how will I ever stand a chance at doing that if you allow these people every fucking time I earn $20 fucking dollars to take 30 fucking percent? At least. Shit. It's awful. It's fucking terrible. I feel afraid to go into a place and use the restroom. Like, this is awful. They keep on promising unlimited privilege. Anyone who knows me knows that I have most certainly paid in many ways for every single bit of peace and happiness that I've ever had. Ever. Nothing in my life has come free. It's time for us to flip the switch on that. Then they start with the pressure about, well, what was going on in, 2016 when you stopped working in healthcare. Oh yeah, great. Thank you for asking for the 7 millionth time. What was going on is I was being extorted by a detective, and I was being forced to engage with individuals who they believed were up to something. Now, here's the real problem with that, right? I don't want to be associated for the rest of my life with being the girl who was being used against her will, without her permission, without her consent, by government appointed authority, and then who went to social for a decade telling everyone what was going on and looking for a way, and it just continued for 10 plus years. How can that cannot be my story. That I refuse. I fucking refuse. I reject that. I reject that. I cannot have that. I don't remember having a day where they didn't break me down mentally, spiritually, financially, emotionally. I don't remember one. Do not remember one. Like, should I go to the forest and dig a hole and drive into it and bury myself there? Would I be safe there? Would that be a better solution for you guys? What do I have to do? What do I have to do? No, with my luck, I'll do that. And then when I, finish putting the last bit of dirt on top and try to get into my car, there will be 6 or 7 people already sitting in here. I mean, what the fuck? But I'm always alone though, but there's always this pull on my resources or pressure on my, mind, or, interrogation style questioning, or it's like there's always something like that. I sat for a good 6-hour period yesterday working on my novel in peace, getting it done, really doing a great job. Randomly, they flipped a switch and inserted this energy that made my body literally go like this. Oh God, you know that energy, that feeling when you just have like when you like maybe someone like goes like this to you. It was like an energetic like fist thrust. And I'm just like this from nowhere. I'm just sitting there in this perfectly calm space working on my novel, and then for no reason, from completely calm, productive, engaged, making progress, I don't understand it. I do not get it. I do not understand it. And then Xavier tells me that he's in a location, and I go there and he's not there. Xavier would never just leave me to sleep alone. He would never do that. Ever. Ever. And then he answers, and his hair's like in a high bun, and it looks like there's someone laying on his shoulder or on his chest, but like they've been omitted by some sort of like deep fake, you know? And he's like interacting with me. He looks like a man. His jaw is like pronounced. He looks how he looked when I met him and fell in love with him, which is more masculine and not so, I don't even know what to say about it. Like I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to make fun of him. I love him. I don't know how to describe it without being offensive. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to make it make sense. I don't get it at all. I do not understand. Do not at all. I have all these photos of him over the last 4 years, and his physical stature is not the same. His height is not the same. But no one is offering me any understanding. It's like they want me to sit in this space of confusion and fear. And I continue to ask for clarity, and they continue to pour on more confusion and fear. So I decided that I'm just going to start going to a bunch of locations that have computers, creating a new email account, sending a bunch of my photos there, and just creating a whole bunch of accounts where the photos are hidden on the internet, because I can't share them on a social without fear of someone coming and stealing the social and removing it from circulation. My last 5 or 6 Instagrams into the numerous thousands have been just taken, just randomly overnight. My brand is not for sale, gone, poof, disappeared into thin air. Coco.chanel.ysl with updates every single day from the tent, where I was giving a journal style entry of what I was going through and what they were doing to me and what I was being subjected to and how they were helping and how they were hurting and what I was doing and how I was contributing, and gone, poof, disappeared. Easter Day 2024. And many others, those are not the only ones. This is fucking awful, it's awful. This is almost exactly to the T what I was going through in 2019 to 20, and then 21, and then 22, and then 23, and then 24. There's no one in my car, right? You guys can see there's no one here. Xavier refused to get in. I'm punching the ghost. Get out of here, ghost. Right? There's no one here. So in case there's a deep fake later that shows Xavier in my backseat when he's actually doing God only knows what and where, or anyone else for that matter. And then I already said this, they're making Xavier's tummy so round, but not just from the front, also from the sides. Like a jar of honey, you know? Like it looks painful for him. And then like they make these environments look like nearly abandoned in some like times, and then other times they just snap back to looking normal. Like there's like they want you to act up. They want you to act like in a way that's conducive with the scene and environment. But if you do so, as soon as they snap the scene and environment back to societal norm, you look like you're doing something either wrong or crazy or out of context. You know, and then you pass by and there's just like some random lady like tending to her garden, like looking super zenned out and peaceful. Beautiful garden, beautiful house. Looks like it should be on a magazine cover for Homes and Gardens or something. And then it's like, oh my God, do they even have magazines anymore? And then it's like, well, I went to Whole Foods and I saw that they do. So, but who's reading them? Most certainly, who's purchasing them? What is it, $20 for a magazine? 14 something for some of these magazines. And then I'm online on the internet and I'm trying to find meetups. Meetups is supposed to be like a social application, not for dating or hookups, but for like fun things that you could do with other people so that you're not just all by yourself all the time, right? I've never needed that before. I've always had a social group and my children. And my first ex-husband's mom always taught me that once you have your children, that's your social group. Like your family, your mother-in-law, your sister-in-law, your brother-in-law, your own family, your sister, your mom, your brother, your husband, and your children. Those are your friends. Like you don't look outside of those relationships very much. I mean, maybe if you go to school or work and you meet someone, but like you don't, for the most part, prioritize going, you know, to nightclubs or parties or dances or, you know, things like that. You focus your energy because energy is limited. We get tired as humans at the end of the day, right? So we need to then recharge. If you give 8 hours of your energy to someone, right, and then you are exhausted, what do you have left to give to your children when you get home, your family? So you dilute that more when you add a bunch of friends and, you know, other social connections. So it was always my understanding and my goal and my focus to focus, you know, on those relationships first. And now in the situation that I'm in, where my children are not living with me as their primary caregiver anymore. My children, even though I have primary joint custody, my children are living with my ex-husband's family and my ex-husband's. And I'm supposed to be, you know, building my career and buying and breaking ground on the house that I want to build for my children and I by the end of the year. That was the timeline. And I'm more fucking confused than ever, not even being permitted to make, you know, $100 a day. I don't know how to make sense of this. You know, I really don't. It's like the upline is corrupted, you know, and they're painting their own picture with no regard for the actual reality that's been going on. And they're trying to fold in people's realities to their own storylines. And they're not really caring if they lose a whole bunch of very pertinent information in translation, in doing that folding in. You know what I mean? That's what I'm perceiving. And I know that the higher authority changes on a day-to-day. And I'm sure that that's incredibly problematic when you have the understanding that there are many, many, many higher authorities, many of whom have allowed, you know, as they refer to it, their stars to carry narrative and keep, you know, the record in alignment. And then you fold in these other groups, and they call it being crushed by giants. You fold in these other groups, and then all of a sudden, you know, your story, your narrative, your truth, your reality is folded into the reality of someone who doesn't give a fuck about your reality. And I can't have that. I can't have that, you know? I cannot lose myself or my children or my family members or their identities or our realities. I cannot. It will not work. It will never work. So, anyway. Shit. I knew they were going to do that. I knew it.